In this video, I'm going to talk about fine-tuning your objects. You can do this either before or after you add your letter, but it is something you're going to want to do. So let's be in layers, and I'm going to look at this handle. I think this handle is a little bit jagged. Some stuff that I've already fine-tuned, I don't know if you noticed, but I fixed up this shape a little bit to make it look nicer. I got rid of some of the dots because I thought there were too many. To get rid of more dots, I would just go in and delete them. Yeah, and I think that looks a little bit cleaner. Let's say for the handle, I think that this handle's a little jagged, right? It just isn't as smooth as it could be. Now, the reason it's doing that is because if we look at the points, there are a bunch of points here, and they're not all necessary. When I traced the point, when I was tracing the object in the first place, I dropped a bunch of points so that way it would be easier to trace. And you might notice that you do that when you're working on your leaves and your shapes. Or you might have noticed that while you were working on your leaves and as you're doing your shapes, that it's easier when you drop a bunch of points. So I would encourage you to drop as many points as you think you need and then to get rid of them afterwards. So we don't want to delete the points, but we do want to subtract them. Now I think I'm going to start off by getting rid of, I think this point is not necessary to me. And I also want to point out that I'm doing this without looking at the actual image. I've turned the image I was tracing off. And that's because it's not really important what the actual image looks like. It's just important that it looks good in the end. I also want to get rid of this one here because I think that this point also isn't so necessary. Now, as I delete the points, each handle is going to have to work a little bit harder. And you'll see that as the handles have to get longer, right? So this handle is really long. So sometimes that's not so great for the handle if it has to carry all the weight on its own. But I think over here it's okay. I'm going to get rid of this point here. And I'm going to pull this handle to get our shape back in order. And I think that maybe this point isn't necessary. So I'm going to get rid of it and now pull this handle out. And I can pull this one. And maybe like that. And we can always get points back. So I think that this is actually too long. So I'm going to hit the plus sign and I'm going to put this point in. And as soon as I do that, these handles get shorter because this new point is helping to bear the weight. So you can add and subtract as many points as you feel are necessary as you work. And that will help you neaten up your objects. I still think this could be a little bit smoother, so I'm going to do that and maybe bring that handle in. Maybe bring this handle up. There, I think that looks a lot better than it did. Also maybe, I think I'm going to subtract this and probably put it back afterwards. And remember that this is subtracting the points, not deleting them. Deleting the points would open up the shape. I don't want to open the shape, I just want to clean up the shape. And I can get rid of this point over here. And then I can pull this one. Like that. And I think I'm going to leave that well enough alone. Yeah. Okay, so that's how we can neaten up the shapes. You just want to go in and make sure that you only have the amount of points that you actually need, but that you don't have too few points. It's a balancing weight between having the right amount of points. If you have any questions, please let me know.